to the Young Voices Forum. This week, we are discussing a topic of great significance: the importance of vocational skills for the girl child. In today's rapidly changing world, empowering young girls with vocational skills is crucial for their personal growth and independence. By equipping them with practical skills, we enable them to pursue fulfilling careers, break gender barriers, and contribute to the economic progress of their communities. Today, we are joined by two people from the Northern Regional Office of Ghana TVET Service to help us delve into the significance of vocational skills for the girl child and explore how they can shape a brighter future. Before I introduce to you my guests, let's take a quick break. Don't go away.
You only live once.
Hi, my name is Quinsta Nefi and I play the role of Emily in the YOLO TV series. For accurate information and support on contraception, pregnancy, and other sexual and reproductive health issues, call the Agoshi Plus toll-free line 5100 for MTN and 0800001122 for all networks. Good life, live it well. Good life, it's an everyday thing. YOLO, you only live once.
YOLO, you only live once.
If you've just joined us, we are just about to begin our conversation for the day. We are discussing vocational skills for the girl child. To help with the discussion is Madam Humeimatu Abdul Wahab and Mr. Suleimana Ishao. Welcome. Madam Humeima, it's a very familiar face. I think she's been on our platform before. It's so good to have you back, and you say you're welcome. So when we say vocational skills, before we start the conversation, what do we categorize as vocational skills?
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum to our cherished viewers. I'm Humimatu Abdul Wahab from the Ghana TVET Service. And thank you for your question. And we'd like to thank your team for giving us this opportunity to come and educate the general public the importance of vocational skill to the young girl, to the girl child education. When we say vocational skill, using one hand to learn a trade. Trade is example, we have fashion and designing, weaving, electricals. One can use their hand to learn a skill. That is vocational education, vocational skill. And TVET, we equip the youth or the young girl with employable TVET skill. Basically, that is the definition of vocational skills.
Essential.
All right, so to come in, so at our end, it will be more general in the conversation. So we're looking at technical and vocational skills combined. And so I'm not just limited to only vocational skills, because we've reached a stage where we have to make conscious effort to make sure that the girl child is also introduced to the technical skill learning in our societies. And so when we're talking about the technical and vocational skills, like Madam rightly said, we're talking about any practical knowledge that one learns to be able to use the hand to do something that will be of use to the person in society. And so you're talking about giving the person either a technical or vocational skill. And so she's mentioned some of the areas where people learn these skills, as in fashion and design, bead making, weaving, and a host of them. So that's basically what the technical and vocational skills are about.
Okay, so you kept saying technical or vocational skills. Are they the same thing, or is there a difference between the two?
Yes, so they are different in that we're using the two because, like I said, for some time now, as a nation, for example, we've had the ladies in the vocational aspect, say home economics, they keep going and doing home economics. But those other technical areas like becoming an electrician, becoming what's it called? A building, mechanic, building construction technician. The ladies used not to want to go to those areas, and so the vocational ones, like I mentioned, are the home economics, the catering that you used to have sisters always wanting to go to, and so the technical areas they were always not wanting to go. I don't know whether it's out of fear or the discouragement that our society has been giving them. Okay.
Okay, so like technical and vocational skills are the same thing or they are different things? I didn't catch that.
Okay, so they are different.
Okay.
Side that the vocational, how do I put it to your understanding? Things that not usually too technical. So they're just, if I'll be clear with the example I was using. So like the catering, like these are things that they been doing in their house. It's just that the school setting has, what's it called, just added up some spices to it. And so, but this technical ones, you need some, what do I say, technical
Expert.
expertise to be able to, as it were, understand. So these ones were already traditional things they do in the house, like this cooking thing that we call the home economics, the catering that you used to do in the house. You cook, you do the household chores and all of that. So you come to the school to do that. So that's a vocational aspect you take in. But technical one, maybe you certainly would have to have some special skills to be able to even grasp that, because a lot of people would have been taken through the technical and they wouldn't be able to even do that. Okay.
Okay. So the common vocational skills in Ghana. I just walk us through a few. Yeah, Madam Huema.
Yeah.
Yes.
The common vocational skill in Ghana are we have weaving, hairdressing, fashion and design, and building and construction. That the construction industry. For instance, electricals, tiling, plumbing, painting, plaster paneling, that is PUP. These are the common vocational skills in Ghana. Unlike certain sector, they do it with the mechanic. That's the technical aspect that my brother have mentioned. But within Northern Ghana, these are the common vocational skill training that the youth can lay their hands on.
Yeah, so the several, you're limited to vocational, so we're talking expansively to both vocational and technical. So a lot of things like electricals, electronics, agric mechanization, a lot of areas that falls under this vocational and technical skill areas. So, like she rightly mentioned, welding are all part of the technical and vocational areas that we have in the country. That we have a lot of people venturing into that. So, building and construction. What's it called it? Even we have other areas that appear to be soft skills that's what's it called, fall under this, like entrepreneurship. It could look that soft, but it's also an area that one need a skill to be able to, as it were, do bookkeeping and all of that soft aspect of this technical and vocational skills that one really need to learn how to do them to be able to actually do them.
Okay. So now let's talk about the importance of vocational and technical skills. How important are these skills to young people, especially young girls?
Yeah. So the importance of technical and vocational education is something that cannot be underestimated. Um, for example, in Ghana, you have the female population being currently over 50%. And it's so shocking to hear that when you talk about areas where women are, for example, holding position that has to do with skilled areas, we have less than 2% of women occupying that. For a population that has over 50 women, I think the last census shows that you guys are about 52 as against 48% of percent of men, and you have less than 2% of women occupying places where will require skill, some special skills to be able to occupy there. That's quite unacceptable. And so the importance will be to empower the girl child to be able to fit well in society. One, when the person is able to get the skills, the person is fit to be employed to any entity, be it government, non-governmental, or private sector. The person is able to, as it were, start something on his or her own. And so you walk to town, you find a lot of people go to a tailoring shop to learn how to sew or to make a dress. The person later would go to set up a own shop and be doing something. Someone goes to learn how to do catering, to cook proper food, and the person, what's it called, is able to go set up a bar, a restaurant. That is a self-employment for the person. The additional things you find is that as and when the person is able to go and start something like this, the person has the tendency of being able to also employ additional people. It could be not only fellow girls or fellow women, the person could even employ men. And so at the end of the day, the importance is that as the person would have been relying on the husband, on the family, and the society just for her survival and basic needs, the person is now in the capacity to be able to, as it were, take care of himself, the family, and even help some other persons in the family. And so we believe that this issue we have to visit every now and then about our sisters not having anything to do, and they have to run to Accra, Kumasi to be carrying petty things for others. Had they gotten some of the skills we're talking about, I'm sure they would have been able to stay here, start something on their own, build themselves, their family, and what they're doing would, in the long run, contribute to the development of their societies and our country as a whole.
Okay.
I want to add something.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Another importance of technical and vocational education is that they use their talent. They use their talent to help others, and they also employ. Because somebody knows that for me, I'm good at electricals, and you can wire a house or the gadget that is facing us. It's a talent. So that person will use the talent to impact to another person, and the person will also graduate. We have them when we go to their shops, they are there, and it's madam or master having apprentices. So you use the talent to impact to others, and thereby creating what? Unemployment, creating jobs for them and reducing unemployment rate in the country. And when you look at the informal sector or learning a vocational skill with the girl child, we empower them because they have to be leaders, as you said, to break the gender barrier. If you don't also empower the girl child, will not be able to take leadership positions. So these are some of the importance of vocational skill or technical skill that the girl child can also learn and be for themselves instead of waiting for government to come and employ them, as my brother said.
Okay. Mr. Ishao, so I think that when you were making one of your submissions, you mentioned that usually when it comes to the vocational and technical skills, the ladies like to lean more towards the traditional ones because they probably have, a technical know-how already. So they think that they will just want to polish that up. But what are some vocational skills that, you would say these ones are particularly very valuable for girls, but they seem not to be going in that? And how can we encourage them to explore these skills?
Yeah, so every technical and vocational skill or area is valuable and good for the girl child. It's just unfortunate that societies have decided to put some barrier to the girl child, and so you're growing up, you in the house made to be around the kitchen, around sweeping around, and fetching water and all of that. And so when you're growing up, because you've been familiar with the kitchen ways, stepping inside the SS, you feel like going to learn about food and related matters, as in home economics or kitchen, will be that easier for you instead of having to go and rack your brain about how it is to fix a motorbike, how it is to fix a car, how it is to put some woods together for us to roof this building. So you feel that will be a bigger burden for you. And so with the new reform government is bringing to the educational sector to be able to deal with the unemployment situation in the country and to be able to propel our industrialization that we must and ought to have as a nation. Working hard to ensure at our end as Ghana TVET Service to ensure that we break that barrier where we can now have women, taking up skill areas that previously used to be dominated by men. Be it the area of mechanics, we want to see women now enter there. They can do it. Be it the area of agric mechanization, we want to see women stepping in there and doing it even more than the men. Be it electrical works, we want to see women mount the poles, work with the machines than the men used to do. And so every area of the technical and vocational environment, the woman is able to do it. It's just that our societies over the years have just kept some unsupposed barriers to them. And that's why they've not been able to go. Or as it were, they just wanted to where they could be comfortable. But let us challenge the status quo to ensure that this time around, they step in there and with the next few years, they would agree with us talking today that it's possible for them to also do what the men have always been doing. I hear you people say what we can do. You guys can even do better.
No, we said we can also do if we move the better.
Oh,
Okay. So, Madam
There's
Huma,
a
your
quick
thoughts?
addition.
Yeah.
With technical and vocational education, with the courses, the trade area, we have male-dominated courses and female-dominated courses. So with the male-dominated courses are the construction side, tiling, electricals, plumbing, and others. Then the female-dominated courses are the fashion. So when you go there, you see more ladies there. Catering, you see more ladies there. And then ICT, and then catering, you see more ladies there. So this time around, we are also educating the general public and our young girls to also venture into the female-dominated course, because a lot of people, they are building. You have contractors, the industry is building.
Sorry, you want to venture into the male-dominated? Yes.
Females will venture
Into the male-dominated, okay.
and also encourage the female to venture into the field like makeup and then fashion. So when you go there, you see the number few. So this time we are encouraging our female to also venture into the male-dominated courses. And we have started an organization is championing it, and they are training the young girls in this construction side so that we can also be in this field and gain more opportunity out there, over there.
Okay. All right. So we are going for a quick break. When we come back, the conversation continues.
Jello! You only live once.
Charlie, what's up? My name be Odenche. Some of you call me mini sharpshooter, but make I give you brotherly advice. For all your sexual reproductive health rights information, counseling and referral services, call the Agushi Plus helpline on toll-free numbers 5100 on MTN or 0800 001122 on all networks. Be assured of your confidentiality. Agushi Plus helpline, we there for you. Good life is an everyday thing. Good life, live it well. YOLO, you only live once. Peace out.
Jello! You only live once.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the Young Voices Forum, and today we are discussing the importance of technical and vocational skills for young women. And we are very, very fortunate to have experts in the house helping us do this discussion. So if you have any question or you have any comments you want to make, you can just keep them in the comment section for us. And also share the video so that other young people can have access to it and also benefit from this insightful discussion happening right now. Yes. So before we went on break, we were talking about the importance, some of the valuable, places that young people can venture into when it comes to technical and vocational skills. So let me ask, Madam Humeima, I would really like for you to take the lead on this one. So at what age would you say it's best to introduce the girl child to vocational and technical skills?
The best age to introduce the girl child to technical and vocational training skill is from the age of 15 and above.
Okay.
The girl child can be introduced to learn a skill.
Okay.
15 and above.
So are there, in the technical and vocational skills world, are there age appropriate, technical and vocational skills? So you think that when they turn 15, they can actually, venture into all of the ones that you've mentioned today?
When you look at the formal sector, before we pick a student or a trainee to train, they will finish a basic education and submit their results and enroll into the various technical institution. By then, the person might have reached the age of 15 that I'm talking about. But when you come to the informal sector, because I already said that because of certain challenges, some people cannot also go to the formal school. So the person will get up and pick the child and send him or her to a mechanic or a tailor to give the person the skill training. So within that area, the age limit is less, as I said, because sometimes when you go, you see age of 10 or 11 and they are learning the skill because the person has already identified the child talent and doesn't want to waste his or her time. And then by then he will take the child to the seamstress or the hairdresser for him to be or for her to be given that training. So when you look at the informal sector, you can see 11, 10, and thereabout. But with the formal training, the person has to finish the BC. By then it might be somewhere above 15 going, or 12 and 13 going.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. So I think one thing I would want to say here is that I want every parent having a child there to take note of it. I think what happens in other parts of the world is that even though you might have an age limit that the country might have set for a child to reach what stage and start to do what course. For instance, we'll say age 4, the child should should begin going to school. Age, thus the person should be in JSS, and we assume that by 15 the person should be entering high school. But even at the tender age, be observing your child. There, like I mentioned, in other parts of the country, be able to identify my child has interest in this area. So you have a little boy or girl in the house. Is able to pick 1, 2, 3 things and fix them together in the form of play, and it keeps being the character of this child. So this should be telling you that the child, might not necessarily be having interest in the area of reading. And so you have another child. Every little chance the child gets is a book the person pick and going through the what's it called writings without even understanding what has been there. So you would get a signal that your child is having interest in this area. Our part of the world, it doesn't work that way. So it's just the norm. Let's all go to school and we all move to GSS. We all having courses given us to go to SS to do, and that's is it. So tertiary, it don't even matter whether this is my interest area, this is where I would have expertise in doing. That doesn't necessarily matter here in our part of the world. And so if you're able to identify your child at that tender age having interest in something about technical, picks a coal or a chalk or a pen and is drawing something wonderful. So you can begin to give the person the guidance even before age 15 in the area of technical, because even the technical area is broad. And so when you begin to guide the child, is able to pick a particular specific technical or vocational area that you're able to initiate the person to even before the person gets to this age of 15 that we're talking about.
Okay. So, I think that in the very formal sector, there is this age limit for what a child can do and at what particular age. So sometimes somebody will say that if you are letting your child who is 9, you probably identify that he has talent with fixing, gadgets, and you ask them to get into send them to be trained to be able to fix. Does it not, breach the child labor law?
So there's so many ways of doing it, and if you take a critical look at how we structure our educational system, For example, someone is going to be, a doctor or a nurse. So at the initial stages where you're required to go and learn general science, is the theoretical aspects you learn in adults. It's hard you find them, send them to the clinics to go for clinicals and all of that. So when they get to the age where we now expect that they will be in the nursing training colleges, in the medical schools and all of that, there they are introduced to the practical thing. So your child can be introduced to it, not necessarily by going to pick the tool to go and do what, but the theoretical aspect. As a guardian, you might just get a channel that's is having these cartoons, even what's it called it, portraying similar things, and you make that available for the child to be, or something, just a tablet you can get that can have an app that is doing something about these technical areas in the person, or as it were, they are doing what's it called it, a similar thing in a particular workshop. You find weekends that you always go there with a child too. So just some theoretical, what's it called it, orientation for the child at that stage. And so it wouldn't amount to child abuse, which we strongly against. And so when they are going like this, you go to JSS, we do portions of the subjects would deal with home economics small, and those days pre-vocational skills, pre-technical skills. So you introduce to the theoretical aspect. Those days you draw with your hand, or what's it call it, whatever board is available. But when you transform to the higher level, you are sent to go and deal with the practical wood and the practical hammer. And so at that stage, the what's it called it, the child abuse thing may not step in. So there are so many ways you can introduce a child to, and it wouldn't amount to mostly introducing the child to the theoretical aspect of the technical and vocational skills.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, Madam Homeima, when it comes to TVET, what are some of the barriers that prevent young women, especially those living in the northern region, because this is your place? What prevents them from participating in TVET?
Yeah. Some of the barriers that prevents our young women to participate or to learn a skill is the perception. People perception about TVET. We take it to be TVET is meant for the denderhead, or it's meant for the vulnerable, those who cannot afford school fees, or it's meant for poor. Please, it's not like that. I want to cite an example. There is this NGO who are training young girls, young women in construction site, that is tiling, plumbing. So I had this opportunity for this young girl to learn. She picked the form and sent it to the parent. She targeted the POP, and the parent said she shouldn't do it because it's male-dominated course. So the perception about TVET with regards to young women having access to this skill training is a challenge. Another perception is financial constraint. Day in and day out, people call us at our office, Madam, please, we want to learn this skill. I have passion and I have interest in it, but the home is not good. My parent cannot, my father cannot, or my guardian cannot afford. Please kindly get an NGO that can support us. So sometimes NGO come in as intervention to give this young girl who have passion to learn that skill. So another challenge is financial.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. And Mr. Isha.
Yes. So there's so many barriers to TVET education in the country. Like Madam mentioned, the misconception that the society had about the whole thing. One, this is for women, this is for men. This subject area or skill area is for ladies. And so it look odd to, as a guy, going to be learning how to do makeup, how to do hairdressing and all of that. And it looks odd to, as it were, put on the working gear and go to the magazine there and be fixing this thing as a woman. And so this is a very serious barrier. And so the other thing is about how society perceives persons who as it were, uh, in the other, sectors of so the prestige they put for you when you are a banker, when you're a medical doctor, a nurse, it's not the same when you are the carpenter, when you are the. I hope you understand. So that's there's been, but primarily, I think the nation had also contributed to us having this for the past 60 years we've had as an independent country. That a lot of attention has been given to the grammar-related what's it called, trainings that we've had in the country, and so now we've reached a crossroad where we cannot go. That the grammar schools that we've all gone through had produced for us in numbers graduates that cannot do anything with their hands except that government or an NGO employs them. So there's nothing we can do. Petty things that we should be doing, fixing, this chair, fixing the road. You need to go to China and bring sometimes prisoners that they have, made deliberate effort to train through technical and vocational skills. And so that's why government has decided in the past few years to bring a very serious reform that will be able to deal with the unemployment situation. So that's why you're now hearing about the Ghana TVET Service. Previously, it used to be the Ghana Education Service. Now, government consciously have brought all bodies that were undertaking technical and vocational trainings in the country together to form the Ghana TVET Service. And so now, going forward, we're going to have all grammar-related schools to be in the charge of the Ghana Education Service, and all technical and vocational schools are now going to be under the charge of what's it called, the Ghana TVET Service, again to the GES. So they would have to look at after the junior high schools and the primary schools because they are more into the reading aspect. And so the TVET Service was looking at the technical and vocational schools in the country, have also the bigger responsibility of looking after the informal sector that is into the technical and vocational training. And so as we begin to work, we'll be doing the sensitization to cancel off this negative perception and to make what's it called, a technical and vocational education the want-to-go area of every person in the country.
Okay. So sometimes I think that there are people who also believe that some of the reasons why ladies or women do not venture into these male-dominated fields or courses is because there isn't like a safe space for them when they get there. That they have to deal with issues of harassment and, people questioning their competency at every level. So that dissuades some of them from even, venturing there. Could that also be the reason why young ladies are not venturing into
Yes, so it's a reason because, like I said, over the years, for example, in our formal learning settings, a lot of attention has been given to grammar-related schools, for example, where you have enough infrastructure. In the technical and vocational areas, much attention has not been given. And so, for example, you want to go learn what's it called, carpentry. We expect that the setting should have something that as a woman you would want to change. You should be able to go. You are there, maybe your period comes. There should be a setup that you can attend to yourself and all of that. But because over the years we've not paid attention to, so even if you walk into town and you see a grammar-related, senior high school, and you see that of technical and vocational school, you certainly will see the difference, even infrastructure. And so it's been the mistake we've made for a very long time. I think we're taking steps to correct that. So it's true that it's also one of the reasons why the ladies do not want to go to that area.
Okay. So can you share with us some of the steps that have been taken to rectify that?
So like I just said, previously, you have so many entities that are into public oneself, that are into technical and vocational skills, but they were fragmented across. So government has now taken, like this TVET name, it used to just be a division under GS. We were having some under labor and all of that. So more attention had not been given. So one, government has passed a legislation to decouple all technical entities in, I think, about 9 different ministries together to form Ghana TVET Service. to now champion technical and vocational education. So that's one. And so now we've had a national headquarters, we've gotten regional headquarters. And so now we coming to have 32 technical and vocational, institutions, but a number of the already existing ones had been, upgraded. I think Lamashegu Technical within the magazine and that of Kofi Annan on your way to Kumbogo have been recently upgraded. Their structures have been upgraded, and their workshops have been retooled to make them fit for purpose. And so these are efforts the government is making to ensure that in the next few years we're able to, as it were, position the formal schools to be able to train the teaming children and youths coming up in the country. And another significant sector that as a nation we've left for long is the informal sector. The work they're doing at the magazine, the women you find on the streets, doing hairdressing and tailors, the carpenters you find, at the construction site. This, for the past 60 years after independence, have been left on their own. The nation and the state did not, give them any support, and we feel their contribution could have taken us to a place more than where we are today, and that if we not carry them along, we would have to, go to a place that the state alone cannot necessarily take us to.
I want to add to the reforms. As my brother said, initially MBTI was under Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, and OIC and Gratis Foundation was also under Ministry of Trade. So now government have brought all these TVET schools, both private and public institutions, they are on different ministry under one umbrella called Ghana TVET Service. And government have also introduced free TVET. Unlike the senior high school, when they graduate, when they finish, they all move to secondary school to learn this grammar, to learn the grammar type. But this year, government have introduced free TVET, and we are having second batch currently. So these are the new reforms government have put in place to make technical and vocational education accessible and attractive for all, so that the narrative, we can change the narrative, the negative perception about vocational skill.
Okay. I think that you really struck a chord when you mentioned the girl who wanted to learn these the male-dominated, courses in the TVET, and the parents said that is not a very good idea because she's female. So, what role can parents and guardians play in supporting girls, vocational and technical aspirations?
Time is changing, and we need to change with the time. We should just leave that perception. These courses are for me, these courses are for me. We should just leave that perception behind, that negative perception, and support the young girls to learn this skill. Because when they learn it, they will become self-employed. At least it will reduce certain burden on parents. So I'm calling on parents who are watching us to support the girl child education, for them to become self-employed, reduce the unemployment rate, and reduce the streetism. See, because they are sitting there, they don't do anything. That's why they go around with this kaya and then loitering around. They don't know what to do. So if the girl child is being equipped with this skill, you'll be able to fend for themselves, even buy pad for themselves, instead of following some people to pay for them, and then at the end of the day, their life will be in danger. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I think the conversation to every parent is, why are you sending your ward to school? Is it just to pass through the educational cycle and come back to sit in the house? Having spent so many millions of cedis to educate the child now comes to be demanding for breakfast from you. So I think every parent out there would agree with me that you sending your ward to school to become someone in future that the person is able to fend for him or herself, support you at your old age, and contribute meaningfully to the society and the country as a whole. And so we're calling on you to give your child, the necessary support that would enable him or her that after school, he or she is able to start something on his or her own, even if government employment hasn't come. And so, one, begin to study your child even at a tender age to see which area would my child have interest in. If it's a technical area, assess the child. And so you must have a stake, an interest in when your child is completing the basic education, JSS. Ensure your child chooses a course that after even SS, the child is able to start doing something to be able to support you in training for his or her tertiary education. When you allow your child to go and learn how to be an electrician, the child every holidays is able to do something, raise some small money, and you may not even need to give him money or her money to go to the tertiary. When your child learns how to sew, how to do hairdressing, how to weld, how to lay tiles, and all of that, even after SS, is gradually going to be becoming self-reliant. Now, we also want to encourage parents that deliberately, governments, like Madam said, we are free TVET and free senior high school, is sending as much as possible children through the placement system to the technical and vocational schools. So when your child is placed in a technical school, given a technical course, do not be, furious and pushing to change the course. Ask more about what the child could benefit for studying that course. And if it is that you even have an understanding but your child do not, try to guide and counsel the child to accept the school, accept the technical or vocational course to go and do. So if you also have a child who has dropouts, this is a perfect platform for you, technical and vocational. Like I said, we are in charge of the formal sector and the informal sector. If you can, let the child, even if it is a grammar school the person had gone to and had failed, let the child join, a technical or vocational school through recycling. If at all you do not have interest in allowing the child to go back to school, find a trade area, be it carpentry, hairdressing, makeup, and all of that. Let the child go and study. We have a certification system for even those who haven't been through the formal school. That when you go to magazine, when you go to a tailor, madam, and you learn how to sew, and you fully pass out, or you know that at this stage I can do the thing, just contact the Ghana TVET Service. You'll be, taken through a registration. You'll be invited to come and go through tests. Our test is not to come and write stories. If I ask Madam to describe how to make this dress, she can write beautifully. But if I give her the materials and the machine, she will not be able to do. So that is what we used to do in the grammar schools. At our end, when you come, you will make available for you the machine. You sit with the material and you just do practical and we'll see. You will be given the marks. It will be sent to Accra to be processed, and you have your certificate that you can use to do any other thing, including getting employment.
Okay. So you talked about people contacting the Ghana TVET Service.
Yes.
Do you have any contact numbers or, points to an office space that people can actually walk into and talk?
Yes, so our office is the former MVTI office for now, because government just created the regional offices across all the system regions. We are yet to have regional offices built. So for now, we taking over the former MVTI offices, which is opposite Tamale Metro, just by the GRE. The GRE, I don't know, around police headquarters there. That is where the office is located. So I think for our numbers, viewers can pick 054 31 99250 054 31 99250. So we can also call 024 258 2566 024 258 2566. Anything you would want to learn, inquire, or clarify regarding technical and vocational education, you're welcome to our office and you're welcome to call the numbers I just mentioned so that we can attend to you appropriately.
Okay. Madam, final words.
My final word is I want to thank you, your team, for giving us this opportunity to come and educate the general public about girl child education under the TVET sector. What I want to say, always I use myself as an example. All parents should pay attention and give their girl child an attention, the rights, the support they need, so that at least they can also become like us or even more than us, because we are leaders as we are sitting here. So we serve as a role model. Where I go, I always tell parents or the youth or the women about my experience. So those of you who know me very well, I'm telling you, challenge yourself. You are going to do it. If somebody is going to say, oh, you are going to do POP, and somebody is denying you, maybe the person have seen your future. So you should always have a why or a goal, so that at the end of the day you'll be able to achieve it and make it in future and contribute to the society, make a change in your communities, and contribute to the development of our mother Ghana. Thank you.
All right, so also thanking you for the opportunity to come speak about TVET on your platform. We're reaching out to NGOs that are actually supporting technical and vocational education, especially within the region. So we're encouraging parents and girls out there that if you finish high school and you are sitting, even if it's tertiary you finish and work is not coming, try to step out and learn a trade. Come will give you the certification, and if your course from the university, the college, and the polytechnic is still not giving you the employment you need, maybe the the CTVET proficiency or certificates could give you a quicker job. All right.
Thank you very much for joining us today. I want to tell you that if you're looking for information or you need us to facilitate your access to the TVET team, you can always call us on the Agwo She Plus helpline 5100 or on the She Plus helpline 0800 If you have any questions, we can give you answers and also give you advice and information, whichever one you need. I want to say a very big thank you to the producer and also the technical team. As I always say, without them, there will be no Young Voices Forum. I also want to say a very big thank you to my guests for taking time out of their busy schedule to join us to educate the public on the importance of TVET, especially for the girl child. So until we come your way, same time next week, my name is Rahel Entry and I was your host for today. Bye-bye.